Welcome to the Joy Project. I put together this special program to help us overcome our limiting beliefs, our self sabotaging beliefs, and the things in our way within ourselves that are stopping us from getting the things that we ultimately want. Over years of research and spending so much time with myself and with my clients, understanding why they can't get the things that they ultimately want, I realized that the biggest block out there is ourselves, including myself. And so I developed an entire process with exercises and techniques in order to overcome those limiting beliefs and to resonate at a higher frequency. If you think about anything that you want in your life, what's limiting you from achieving them is your belief about you attaining them. And the scary part about this that I uncovered was that ultimately the thing that we find the most daunting that we're not even aware of is that we don't feel worthy of joy. We create all these blocks and barriers within us saying, I can't get that job, I can't get that money, I can't get that relationship, I can't get my health. And only when I get those things, then can I feel joy. And then can I feel like I've achieved something. And until I don't have those things, then I'm a failure. And that internal dialogue plays out. You're not seeing it because it's happening unconsciously. And until you don't make that unconscious behavior conscious, as Carl Jung so beautifully said, then we will call it fate and we will say, well, that's how it ended up. And I said, no, there has to be a different way. There has to be a way for me to fall in love with myself, to fall in love with life, and to resonate at a high frequency. Because think about it, when you achieve those things that you feel you don't have, what is it that you're going to do once you get them? You're going to be feeling whole, you're going to be complete, you're going to be feeling joyful. And when you're not at those things and you don't have that thing, you feel lack. So, what we're doing unconsciously is creating a separation between ourselves and the things that we want. We're saying, I'm living at this frequency because I don't have what I'm supposed to have. Yet, what we want is at that higher frequency. We may never end up getting all those things that our minds are saying we need in order to feel valuable, whole, complete. So, what do? We spend our entire lives in lack, feeling sad because we don't have those things, and constantly complaining about the things that we don't have. This creates enormous resistance within yourself, and it affects your moods, it affects your relationships, it affects how you engage with yourself and how you feel about yourself, which leads to such a detrimental state of existence with yourself. So, I put together this program to help us to find joy, to find wholeness, to start resonating at the frequency of the things that we say we want. So, in other words, to imagine as if though we already have those things that we want. By you manifesting this in your mind and saying, I have those things that I already want, you are now resonating at the frequency of someone who has achieved all those things. Now, here's the thing, does it mean that you're going to get everything that you desire? No, but you're not going to rob yourself of living this moment. And what ends up happening, as we know from the law of vibration, the law of frequencies, the law of polarities, is that because we're on one frequency, we're pushing away all those things that we ultimately say we want. So the more lack we create, and the more sadness we create, and the more blame we make, the further away we're pushing those things that we ultimately want. So the question is not whether you get those things that you ultimately want. The question is, can you resonate at the frequency as high enough as those things that you want? Now, if you are at that frequency of joy, of gratitude, of gratitude, of feeling whole, of feeling complete, those things in your life, you become a magnet. They get attracted to you because you are on that frequency. But when you're on this low frequency, you start attracting more of things on that low frequency. So if you choose to say, let me try this out, and trust me, the results have been tremendous in my life and those around me. Does it mean that everybody that did that course did this course became rich and successful and powerful and magnificent? No, but they felt that way. They felt alive. And many of them went to go on and uncover so much about themselves. They said things like, I didn't realize how much I was sabotaging myself, how many barriers I created within myself, how much I was denying myself joy. Because then it uncovers this big thing, worthiness. We don't feel worthy of receiving these things. We say we want them, but we don't feel really worthy. And when you start doing this work, you'd realize it. And I realized it, and I said to one of my friends, I can't believe it. I didn't feel worthy of them. I didn't feel that I deserved them, whether it's love, whether it's success, whether it's career, all those things. We don't actually feel worthy of them. So we have to show, I have to show you in your process as you do these regular practices how you're sabotaging yourself, how you are creating these blocks within you. And the more you go on to this joy experience and make sure that you force yourself to resonate at the frequency of joy, the more these things that limit you start coming to your awareness. And you're like, wow, I didn't realize I was doing all of these things. And that's power. Knowledge is power, awareness is power. And so that's why I created this group, because we don't realize it, but we don't do the things we need to do in order to find those things that we want. We sabotage ourselves. We complain, we blame, and we say, I'll never get those things. It's his fault, it's her fault, it's that fault, it's my health's fault, it's my age's fault, it's my grandmother's fault. It's always someone's fault. And that's okay. We don't mind about that, but we need to change that. And so because we go to default mode and play the helpless victim, I created this group so that together we keep each other accountable and we encourage each other and say, have you done the practices for today? Say, yes, we have. And then when we don't do the practices, we come on the group and say, guys, I screwed up today. And we all say, that's okay. Get back onto it. Because your self sabotaging mind says, oh, look, you're useless. You'll never do this. You read the book and you did the course and you wasted the money and you're still the same person. And it sabotages you. And then you feel horrible and you don't do the work. That's why with this group, I've created a very clever way of making sure we don't sabotage ourselves. And I make it a practice that we agree that we're only going to do this task or this joy project for one day. Because part of your self sabotaging mind, it says, oh, that's too difficult. It'll take too long. I don't have that. I'm busy. I got this problem. And it tricks you. You never get to fixing your problem. You never get to live with joy. It keeps on pushing the can down the road. So we play a little trick with our minds and say, it's only for today. Tomorrow we can go back to our problems. But today we gave our word to the group. We're in it. We're committed. So we're going to do this today. And you'll see the profound shifts that start occurring. And with this group feeling and everybody doing this, you start feeling like, hey, if they can do it, I can do it. And now you have this momentum with you. And the moment you start seeing a change within yourself and you start seeing results like, hey, I'm feeling lighter, I'm feeling freer, I'm getting more comfortable, I'm finding more peace, I'm finding more joy. You start doing more of this work. And then it's the stone rolling down the hill. It just gains momentum and gains momentum. And then you become the best version of yourself and you become very proud of yourself. So I encourage you to sign up for this course. I've made it very affordable so anybody can do it. Bring your friends, bring your families. Let's together create a group of people that resonate at this high frequency. The purpose being not just that you'll be more happy or more at peace, that you'll achieve those things that you ultimately wanted in record time because you will no longer be blocking yourself. Because many of the times we're afraid of being magnificent, we're afraid of being loved, we're afraid of being successful. We don't know that. But when you start doing this work that I've put together, you start saying, wow, I was blocking myself in so many ways. I didn't feel worthy of this. And then you start attracting those things much quicker. So, what do you get out of it? Everything. What do you have to lose? Nothing. What does it take? Small little commitment on a daily basis for you, not for me. I'm creating this group so that you can have an environment where you can improve and you can become the best version of yourself. Cost minimal. All it requires, you say, I want this. I want to do this for me. And when you're ready, click on the button. Let's get started. I'm excited to show you the possibilities of what happens when you let go and you allow the group to sustain you and elevate you. And when you open your heart, when you fall in love, you're going to feel something you've never felt before all the time. But what a joyous thing it is to do. So let's do this together. What do you say? Let's get started.